Okay, well, hello and welcome. I'm just starting the recording up. Today is January 10th, our first coaching call for the new year. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Bronwyn. I think this is your first
Hi.
call that you've been on, right?
It is.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. And I'll
One of
be
our,
with you in just 1 second. I'm finishing up something.
all right, one of our newest members. Welcome. Hi, Beverly.
Hi.
So, I just wanted to start our call today by thanking all of you for being members of this association. And I just wanted to tell you, because I don't think you realize this, that being a member of this association, you're having a much greater impact than you think, because you're allowing me to continue to do this and reach out to a lot of different coaches and help them with their marketing strategies. And that in turn is helping a lot of coaches stay in business so they can coach the people they were meant to serve. And by doing so, we're reaching thousands of people that are getting coaching, that need help with their lives and are making the world a better place. So I just wanted you to have the bigger picture of the bigger impact that you're making by being a member of our association. So thank you.
And thank you.
So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And I love my work. So the training program this month is the only 3 systems you need to create a 6-figure business. This is kind of a basic thing, and it's going to be the my new bonus for new members coming in, because I think every coach deserves to have a 6-figure business if they're doing this full time. And, everybody has different income goals, but the idea is that you should be able to have a sustainable business. And so what we are going to be doing this year is going over different marketing strategies that are going to help you make your business sustainable and worth doing. And so you're excited to get out of bed in the morning because you've got this great work to do and you're getting paid well to do it. So that's my New Year wish for everyone. So if you want, you can get out your copy of this. I'm going to be looking at mine as we go through this, but I had made a slideshow of this a while back, and I thought I'd just use it as we go through these, and then we'll take some questions and do some troubleshooting and hot seat coaching and see how far we get with this. So the main idea behind this workbook and guide is that you need these 3 main systems for your business. And the 3 main systems are discovery system, a relationship system, and a sales system. And the discovery system is, how are people going to find you? So that has to do with your lead generation and the traffic that you're getting to your site. And so, of course, with the association, we try to help you with that by listing you in the directory and doing Facebook advertising. And then once in a while, our big projects like our group book that's coming out in very soon.
Yay!
Yay! Sandra and Brian. We've got 3 out of the 4. Leslie was in last year's book. So that's exciting. We're almost ready to launch that. And yes, and then everybody else is in this one. So those are different methods. We'll go into this, each of these a little further. But then the relationship system is where once people have found you, then what do you do to keep them in the loop until they're ready to become a client? And the nurturing system is important. And, they always say it's kind of like the marriage, you don't want to propose on the first date. We all know that. So we have to have a nurturing system to build a relationship with these people that we've just met. And then the third system is the sales. So how do you go about getting your sale? What does your sales funnel look like? How do you deliver your program? What is your program? So that's all part of the sales system. And so let's take a look at a few aspects of these different systems. So, discovery system. All right, so in this guide, we talk about 4 different areas that you can utilize. So your blog, how many of you have a blog and are actually writing things in the blog regularly? Beverly? Okay, good. So blogging is an option, just one option. One reason why I like to do things with my blog is because Google and the other search engines like to see regular content being posted on your website. And so that's really, even if nobody reads it, just having something on there every week or every 2 weeks or, at worst every month, just helps you with the search engines a little more. Now, we all know that we're not going to ever be on the first page of our keywords, but just having that regular content being posted on your website is just going to improve your chances of people finding you. And that's all for free traffic that you're going to be getting to your website. I think when I last checked my Google Analytics, I get like 30% of my traffic is free organic traffic. And that's partly because I try to post a blog, something on the blog weekly. Now, the thing is, you don't have to write something every week, and be producing all this content. You can share other people's content. You can give them links to books you've read. There's a lot of different things you can do besides produce your own content on the blog. So I don't want you to get bogged down in the, thinking that you have to come up with all this content. I mean, that's what my whole the last webinar that I did was about, is that you don't need to create so much content, but just, posting different things. It can even be a duplicate of things that you post on social media. And that's the second area that we talk about here, is different social media where you can just post things. What different social media platforms are all of you using right now?
Well, I use LinkedIn. I use Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I started Facebook, but I haven't done a whole lot with it. But LinkedIn and Twitter are the primary.
Okay.
And then
I
website.
have a website and a Facebook page, but I'm not really a Facebook person. I've been on LinkedIn for a long time, but I posted my services as, to sell, and suddenly I'm getting a lot of traffic. And so I posted something last week on LinkedIn, and I seem to get response from there where I've never gotten response from anything else. So I think I'll start there.
Good. All right.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a profile. I have now started to post. with automation, but I'm not active there. But I am very active on Twitter, and Twitter's good. Instagram also has been working for me.
Right. And then you have a group on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
2 groups, yeah.
And
The old one and the new one.
those are excellent.
Yeah.
Better than my page, for sure.
Okay. And Leslie.
Pretty much just Facebook.
Okay. Good. And so, yeah, the thing is that you don't have to be on all of them. You can use some of these automation tools where you post one thing and they go to different platforms. That's good. But of course, we're always warned to not spend too much time on social media because there's so many distractions on it. And I think Facebook has the most distractions. I don't know. I don't even use Twitter, so I don't know anymore what Twitter does. But that's the thing is I focus on LinkedIn and just a little bit on Facebook. So it's good to just focus on one and do it well than to try to be everywhere. And once you get a platform situated where you're getting regular traffic from it and comments and engagement, only then should you try to add something else. So that's the general advice that we get. Now, in our guide, they talk about screen share, where you can do slide presentations. I think that's on LinkedIn. And then they have a couple other tips for you here that you can read about. And let's just see. Okay, so then webinars. Webinar is really, in my opinion, one of the best ways to reach people because you can showcase your expertise, and you can, whoever is ringing, okay, thanks. So you can showcase your expertise, and you can also create engagement, and it's just a little more of a personal, I hesitate to use the word intimate setting, but they use that in the industry for this kind of thing because, you know, the internet is so impersonal, basically. So, and really, you can use a webinar as your entire content thing. You can make a webinar and then take pieces of it and use it for different pieces of content like articles or blog posts. So there's a lot you can do with webinars. And but the only on the downside of the webinars is that you have to promote them just like you would a product, really, because it is a product in a sense. You know, at this point, everybody is getting so barraged with promotions on the internet and in your email that you pretty much have to sell them on a free webinar now. So that's where, you know, marketing comes in. But the thing is that it's a better return on your investment of time and energy to promote a webinar because you're going to get more qualified leads from that, whether your webinar leads to a conversation or a front-end product. Those are really the two end results that you're looking for, and depends on your coaching and your whole system as to which one you're going to offer first. And sometimes you need to just test and see which one works the best. Other times you can use both or just one or the other. And if you have any comments on this as we go along, just speak out. I'm having trouble with this earphone staying in my ear. Okay, and then we have public speaking. Does anyone do that of this group? Beverly does. Sandra does.
Yeah, I want to get chance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's another way. Again, it's you have to spend some time looking for venues that you can speak at, but that's of course the best way to have an intimate relationship with your audience where you're really there. You can react to their response. You can see heads nodding, scowls, whatever. You have a better way of getting feedback right away for what you're talking about, and you just are engaging and really building that relationship on a deeper level when you're live. And then you can still have the end result be a conversation or just getting them onto your email list or selling a product in the back of the room, depending on the venue of the speaking gig. So that's speaking. And then they also suggest publishing a book. Now, not everybody has the time to write a book. And of course, that's why our association has the offering of a group book so that you only have to write a chapter. But you can use a book as a lead generator also. And that's just one more way to become discovered. So any comments or questions on that?
No.
Yes, Bev, you're muted. Bev, you are muted, so you have to unmute yourself.
Here we go. I hope the phone doesn't ring again. Sorry.
Okay.
What's the easiest way to start a webinar? I've never done that.
Easiest way to start a webinar, you mean as far as creating it or promoting it?
Creating it and putting it on a platform, which I've never done. Promoting it, I'm assuming, is with a link and landing page, which would be the easy part. But what do you do before you get there?
Well, I'll tell you how I do it. Not everybody does it the same way I do it. I know Sandra does it the opposite way that I do it. We won't tell. What I do is, since I'm a writer, I write out my script first.
Yeah,
So I write out what I'm going to say, and then I decide what points I want to have for the slides. And then I make the slides.
On PowerPoint?
On PowerPoint. Mm-hmm. Like this slide, for example, is a smart art slide. So I just made this in my script were 4 bullet points. And then when you click on it and go to smart art, it just puts it right into one of these formats. So of course, I could do a whole course on how to create a PowerPoint slide presentation. And maybe I'll do that one day, but for now, I'm just giving you a summary. And then what I do is I read my script, go through my slides, and usually I see where there's too much text for a slide and I need another slide in there because I don't want to be hanging on to one slide for too long. So that's kind of the editing process, really. And then I like to rehearse it once or twice using Zoom, record it and then see how it sounds. And a lot of times, if I listen back to it, I can see where there needs to be another slide or something else needs to be added. And then once you have it ready, then you can use Zoom like we're using. And let me just, I'll show you. What I'll do is I'll just show you the inside scoop here. Whoops. No, okay. So Let's share this.
So basically then, I mean, I know how to do all that part. So basically what we're doing is we're actually putting a PowerPoint presentation on Zoom, and my Zoom account has, you know, up to 100 people or something on it, so I can have that many guests basically. So that's really what we're doing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then the way that you set this up here in PowerPoint is you go to slideshow,
Yeah.
and you go to setup, and here you want to
Right.
click on browse an individual window and advanced slides manually. You click OK, and then over here you just click from the start. So we started here with this slide. Now we'll go back to the current slide and you'll see what happens here. So see, now it's the whole screen, right? And then you just advance it with your little arrows.
Right. Got it. Okay.
Okay. So you don't use GoToWebinar or any of those platforms?
No, I mean, Zoom is $147 a year.
Right.
And that's cheap, a lot cheaper than, I think GoToWebinar is $99 a month or something.
It's something crazy, yes.
Yeah, but Zoom works just as well. We did have a few problems with it yesterday when I was doing a Zoom call, but we got in, we got the recording, worked okay. So, you know, there's always, I mean, I've been on webinars with every single platform where they've had technical difficulties. So
Yeah.
you're always going to run into that. But basically, you know, I try to find the least expensive way to do something that still is quality, you know, so that, you know, you're not going too cheap.
Right.
Okay, great. Any other questions on the discovery systems?
Thank you for asking that question, Beverly.
That was very easy. I was totally ignorant.
Great. Okay. So then relationship systems. So now we've got people who have found you, and now what are you going to do with them? Well, of course, the first thing you want to do is get them on your list. So email marketing. So what you need to do is you need to have a series of emails. Probably all of you have this already, but we'll just review it quickly. That once they get on your list, you want to have a series of emails that give them more information, and just tell them, you know, it can be a lot. There's a lot of different approaches to this. So mainly what you want to do is take them on a journey. You can sort of think of it that way, that what you're doing is you're just gradually exposing them to more of what you do. They may need to be educated as to why this is a problem that they need to fix, you know, because some of them aren't really ready for that. So you're going to have people at different stages of interest. And so you need to think about that and address those different stages as you write your email series. But it also should just come from the heart and be natural, like a conversation. So what would you say to them if you were on the phone with them and they just had just met them for the first time? You know, what do they need to know? You know, of course, on a phone conversation, you can ask them what they need and find out where they're at. With the email, you're going to have to guess. But of course, you can do educated guessing based on your past experience or past phone calls with people, you know, with your sales conversations of where people are at, and you'll get a range of where your ideal clients are at when they find you. I'm getting a lot of background noise, so if you're making any noise, if you want to mute yourself. Okay, so that's email marketing. And then there's networking. And
Now, excuse me, Jeanette, your slides aren't changing.
do you see free sessions, networking, and email marketing?
No.
Still at blogs, social media, webinars, public speaking.
All right, let's see. Let me do a new share. Come on.
There you go. That's it.
It might have switched off when I switched into the PowerPoint back part. Okay, so networking, our favorite, right?
Mhm.
Not mine. I'm just joking. But yeah, Sandra. Yeah, Sandra loves to network. I know Leslie hates it. I hate it. Brian, how about you?
I'm just learning it. When you work in healthcare for so long, they just come to you, and so you don't have to do anything. And so I'm learning how to network.
Yeah, my story is that when I went through my coach certification program, the one marketing method that they taught us was networking. And I was like, that's it? That's what I have to do? Forget it. I'm not having a business. Just never mind. Yeah. So that's me. And that's because I'm not, what am I? I'm an introvert, basically.
Yeah. Me too.
So I don't like to talk.
I love to talk, and I love video.
Yeah, and that's how most coaches are. Most coaches are outgoing, and they love to talk, and sometimes they talk too much. So, but that's an asset, and the rest of us have to figure it out. So, but that being said, it can be a learned skill, and so when I started going to live events of other people's events, I learned how to network, by just talking to people and telling them what I do. And eventually I got more comfortable with that. And in fact, I just signed up for a live event at the end of February. Go to Redondo Beach in the dead of winter. Should be
nice.
Nice.
So, and now I look forward to that kind of networking. So everything that we do in our business, if we don't have the natural knack for it, we either just do something else or we develop that skill, to the best of our ability and work with it. And then what they list next is the free consultations. And of course, these are not where you are coaching people, but you are finding out more about them. It's sort of, I like to think of them as kind of like a dual interview, because you're really interviewing people to see if they're going to be a good fit for one of your programs, and they're interviewing you to see if they want to hire you. So and it has to be a win-win situation. And of course, you need some kind of scheduler to do that. And then, how are you going to do it? By phone? I started doing mine with Zoom so that we can look at each other and see each other, and it just creates a nicer atmosphere. Some people don't like that, and they don't, I don't know, want to be seen. So then you can just do it on audio, and take the video off. So there's a lot of different options there. Okay, so then, so that's the relationship systems. Any comments or questions on that?
Do you have any books or information on your website about networking tips?
Networking tips. I'll have to think about that. I don't know whether we've had any training programs in the past about that or not. I'll have to get back to you on that, Bronwyn.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have the sales systems. Now, is my slide changing now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we get to the fun part, and that the sales cycle system is basically your funnel. So this is the typical funnel, and you don't have to have all of these components to get started with a coaching business. There's a trend right now, and I don't know, I guess it's been around for a while too, maybe, of just starting with a high-end product, you know, and then eventually adding these back in. The thing is, I think that it is important to have an opt-in gift, because that's really the only way that you can get people on your email list at this point in time. Everybody is tired of newsletters. You know, it used to be, oh, I'll get on that person's newsletter. This is so cool. I'm going to get a newsletter every week. It's like, now it's like, oh my God, another one. No. So having an opt-in gift is, I think, crucial, really, for your business, because that's how you're going to build your list. And the thing is, I may have said this before, and you probably heard it too, but the statistics are that possibly only 3% of your entire audience is ready to purchase something to solve the problem that they have. Everybody else is in different stages of interest, as we talked about before. And so this 97% of the people have to be nurtured, and that's what the list is for. So that's why it's a vital component. And the opt-in gift should also solve a mini problem that your ideal client might have. It just makes it more appealing. An example would be like something I downloaded recently was 40, I don't know, this may be not be appealing to everybody, but 44 ways to market your products. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe there's something I haven't thought of yet, you know. Not that I need 44 ways. You only need one good one, but you know, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, as they say. And so you have to find the way that works for you and that you like doing, right? Okay, and then you can introduce a low-end product sometimes. Another thing I downloaded a while back was a $9.95 book, digital book from someone, just to see. I thought the subject was interesting, and that's they also, another word that they use in the industry for that is tripwire. You may have heard of that word. The idea is that it's kind of a negative connotation in a way, but because you're tripping them to get into your sales funnel. It's just sort of a tongue-in-cheek expression. How many people have something like that, a low-end product like that, under $97 in their sales funnel? Anybody?
Not yet. Working on it.
Okay.
Not funnel, but if I'm doing a discovery session and I'm going for the larger amount,
mm-hmm.
and we can't do it, that's when I go lower and can go lower. So
yeah,
it's not an actual product, but you can still talk to me for, you know.
Right. Yeah, and that's the purpose of these two middle products here, really, is that if you start with the high end, you start, with that as the offer, and then if they can't do that, then you've got something else that you can offer them.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I'll just go right, if they aren't the right, it's not the right timing for them for most of this, I just get them on my list at least, and say, well, I'd like to give you a free toolkit or whatever. Can I send that to you? And then you just put them on the list.
Yeah. That's good.
And welcome, Jacqueline. Speak up if you have any questions. We've been going through the 3 systems here for our monthly guide today, but I just wanted to welcome you. Let's see now. They talk about special offers in this guide, and that's where you can make a discounted offer, one-time offer, or there's different ways to do this. You can have a one-time offer on your thank you page and offer them your low-end product, or you can have like a 3-day sale where you discount one of your middle products, 50% off or something. And so that's what they mean by special offers. It's really kind of like, it can also be an upsell or a downsell according to this thing. And then part of your sales system will include how you're going to get paid. So that means a shopping cart of some kind. Most people use PayPal, which is pretty easy. If you have other products, well, you can still use PayPal. It just depends on your preference. I think most of you probably have a shopping cart, right? Of some kind, some way to get paid.
I just send them to PayPal. I have a link, and it just sends them to PayPal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and PayPal has an interesting feature that a lot of people don't know about. But if PayPal.me, M-E, you can set up an account there and choose your own URL after the me, and then send people that link, and they can just put in the amount. So you don't even need a button. You just give them the link, and it goes to a page where it says, okay, amount, and they put it in, and it goes into your PayPal account. So that's what I do when it's like an odd amount. Like, for instance, with the book that we just did, some of the authors hired us to do their editing. And so it was an odd amount. I wasn't going to make a page or button for it. I just sent them an invoice and sent them that link. So, you can do that with, your high-end programs too, because sometimes you may give a discount. You may not have, a set price for it if you're negotiating a deal with someone. So then you just can have them pay you that way. So.
What's the difference between that and on my site, I have a payment, just a button, and it clicks directly to PayPal. So
the difference is with your button, they are going to be paying whatever you put on your button, whatever you put in for PayPal.
No, they don't.
Hmm?
They put in, let's say, I don't know, whatever the number is. If I say just click on my page and put in X amount of dollars, when they do it, it doesn't have to be a set number.
Okay, so that's another option that PayPal has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because so it's similar to what you're talking about.
Sounds like the same thing. Okay. And then product delivery is the other aspect of your sales funnel. How are you going to deliver your product. And there are a lot of product delivery systems out there. Let's take a poll here. What do all of you use?
Nothing yet. You're going to help me with that.
Okay. Beverly, do you use anything?
Well, what I deliver is my own content. So it's not a product. I don't have a product. That there's no, book link, Amazon. You know what I mean? It's just me.
No.
So,
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
for coaching, sometimes it's just a phone call and what? Could be a phone call and then a recording that you give them. So yeah, you don't.
right. And if it's a product, I have it as a download.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So that's the easiest way to do it.
yeah.
Okay.
Easiest way to do it.
So I have a question about that. I'm putting together a 10-week online course,
Mhm.
and they'll get content every week. And that'll include video and then some PDF and some audio. So the easiest way to do that is just to submit it as a download, and then I could actually put it all together up in Active Campaign so that it gets delivered to them every week. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can just give them the link in the email. That's the easiest way to do it. Yeah.
Well, I could set it up though in Active Campaign it comes to them weekly, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. Because Active Campaign, you can do a series. So yeah, you would just set it up and make each of them 7 days apart.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that in any autoresponder, by the way.
Right.
Everybody else.
But the other way that you said was to just give them a link. So that would just take them to my website, and I would just have it up on the website.
That's another way to do it also. And you can just make pages that have the things on. They're not going to be secure, so they don't need a password, but, so you have to decide if that's important or not for what you're doing. I use a membership system where they have to have a password. But sometimes there's glitches in those things, and I've had one lately with mine. So, it's like, is it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. I use Optimized Press for that, just because I can make pages that don't include the nav bar like are on all the other regular pages. So that's and because I'm a former web designer, and that's my only creative outlet at this point is making web pages. That's all I have time to do. It takes 3 hours to set up an oil painting session, set up, paint, tear down. So I don't have 3 hours these days. so I do web pages, which only take a half an hour. Anyway, that's one way to do it. There's also programs like Teachable. I don't suggest Udemy because they discount it. And actually Teachable I wouldn't like to use either because they have to pay through Teachable. I don't like that. But you can just make a page on your website like for your videos, for example. If you don't want to send them to YouTube, where there's a million other videos on the sidebar, just get your video from YouTube, get the embed code, and put it on your website on a page. That's another way to do it. And then if you have a PDF or something that goes with it, just put the link on that page and they can download it. That's what I've done for my short video tips that I give out to my audience. I put it on as a blog post, and the video is embedded on there. And then if I have a worksheet or something that goes with it, then I just put the link right there. So these are different ideas for you. Does that help, Bronwyn?
Maybe, because you can make the videos private on YouTube as well.
Yeah, you can do that. But
So basically, you're just making a landing page that has this content on it. Is that correct?
yeah, or
Okay.
page, it's not really, well, landing pages technically is, for lead generation, but just a page.
So you're just making a page, and then in the side, you could put the sidebar on there, and you could just have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, like that. And then they could, when they click on that, it shows the video or the PDF or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do it that way.
I'm learning. This is all like
That's
making a page takes me half a day.
that's what we're here for. And if you can either do it yourself, and there is a learning curve involved, but once you know how to do it, I think everyone should know how to do all these things. But then once you get going, you can hire somebody else to do it, and because you know how to do it, you can tell them what you want, and you'll know whether they're doing it right or not, and you'll know what to tell them if it's not right. So it's good to, especially when you're just starting out, to learn all about your business so that you can then direct it later on. Okay, and the last area that they cover here is customer support. And that's a little more important when you have a lot of products, but for just coaching, it's mainly just answering emails of, that's what my customer support is that when people write in and say, I can't access this, or I have a question about that, then the main thing is to answer as soon as you can. And just so that they feel supported and that someone is minding the store sort of thing. One thing that I'm working on is I tend to be too quick with everything because I just do everything fast. And so I'll write these quick responses, and my husband says, it doesn't sound that warm. So I'm practicing going slower and trying to be warmer with my responses so that they're not just, okay, yeah, do that, which is my basic nature. So we're all at some stage of learning different things. So
Yes.
yeah, but the main thing is it's really part of your nurturing process too. Once they're a customer, they still need to be nurtured. Do you feel nurtured?
Sure. We get a lot of emails. I could use less emails.
Okay. Well, you're getting a lot of emails because you're in the book. Right? Yeah, normally you get one a week from me. Not even that much. 3 a month is normally. Is that too much for you?
No.
No, that's better.
Yeah. Well, once the book's done, that's what you'll get.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, Leslie,
Yep.
talk to me.
Don't know what you want me to say. I'm still struggling with number 1, so.
Yeah, what's your customer support system? Give us some tips. You're the relationship coach.
Well, rarely do I immediately send off an email unless it's really kind of an informational exchange email, like what time's our appointment, or can we reschedule? Then I send off fast emails. Otherwise, it's like right now I've got one from a client. He sent it to me. I didn't see it till this morning. He sent it last night, and so I take a little bit, make sure that I set aside some time to be present and to really not be distracted, and really kind of, it's like, what is the real question here? And so, yeah, it really is about taking time and being present,
thoughtful,
Yeah.
And seeing what the real issue is. Yes. Very good. See, I knew that you could contribute something. Leslie is my accountability partner, so I know more about her than most people. Okay, so that's it for this slideshow, I think. Yeah. So, what other things are you working on that you just need a little bit of extra support on? I'll stop this share and we can see everybody here. There we go.
Well, what I was going to be working on, actually, as of this weekend, is a webinar, which is a first. And so that's why I was trying to gather as much information as possible. And yeah, and just continue to launch the group that I already have on a webinar, or rather the group coaching, and see where that goes with the webinar. So it's just a learning curve.
And what's your subject for your webinar? What are you going to talk about?
Oh, it's emotional eating, how you can stop emotional eating. And that's the course that I'm doing. And that, so the webinar, I will be talking about, binge eating and giving tips, etc., on that subject. And
then what's your call to action at the end of the webinar?
Oh, click, well, they can have a discovery session. I haven't done the webinar yet, but I was going to have two, I'm not sure, but what I did see was it's like two programs. So whether it's 6 weeks or 3 months on the same one with a price of this and a price of the other one. And the call to action would be just to click that button and pay me. That's the call.
Okay.
Is that too aggressive?
No, I think it's worth trying. What is your price points?
Like I said, I haven't started yet. It would probably be, well, if we're going to go, what I've been doing is really 3 months for $5,000. So 12 weeks was $5,000. So I was using that as a guideline. And so, yeah. And so I don't have it definitely yet. And it wasn't exactly 5,000. It was, I think, 597 or whatever it was. But, I would have that considerably less depending on how much less I'm working with those, depending on the amount of weeks.
So for 3 months in a $5,000 program,
yes,
you would need to have a conversation with them. They're not going to buy off of the webinar for that price.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But
Actually,
what you can do is
but it was all through conversation. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say your call to action should be a conversation, and then if they don't want the $5,000 product, then you tell them about the 6-week program. Downsell them, basically.
Or maybe 5,000 shouldn't even be on the webinar. I should have something like $997 and go with 6.
No, you don't need any prices on the webinar if you're doing a conversation. You just say you have programs available, and if they're interested, they can have a conversation with you to see, if you have a program that would be a good fit for them. Okay,
then that's perfect. Actually, then I don't have to kill myself. Okay.
Right. And then you if you're just doing this for the first time, it's kind of like a pilot, right? So you can experiment with the price point with each person. I did that when I was trying a new business model, and every time I had a conversation, I raised the price because I could see that it was more valuable than I thought it was.
Right. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Sometimes you have to go the other way. You know, if you're not getting enough people, then you may have to lower the price. So but the point is to get as many conversations as you can, just so you can gauge, you know, what the market is up to.
Great idea. Thank you.
But that makes it much easier too, because you don't mention any price or anything. In fact, what you can say is you can get started for free, because your conversation is free, right? And in the conversation, you're going to give them a plan of action. And the plan is, you know, includes your program, right? Because your plan of action is just what you told them in the webinar, basically, which is this is what you need to do. But, you know, I'm going to be there helping you do it. You know, people will get the information. What are they going to do with it? You know, nothing.
Exactly.
Listen to the webinar and they go back to binging.
Yeah, exactly.
So they need someone to hold their hand while they, you know, make this major change in their life, right? Which is what we're all doing with the kind of coaching that we are, is that we need hand-holding when we're making a big change, because it's scary. Basically, that's the bottom line, right? Yeah, so the conversation is what you're selling them on.
I like it.
Anybody else had experience with that want to comment?
Good afternoon. This is Leslie Doris. May I help you?
Leslie, mute yourself. I'm going to mute her. Okay. Bronwyn, yeah.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. I don't have any experience with it, so I'm just listening and learning.
Great. Any other questions from anyone?
I'm good. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Well, we're at the top of the hour. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope this was helpful. If there's any loose ends and you still have questions, just email me. I'm here to help. And right now I have time to, to answer emails.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jeanette.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jeanette. Thank you, really.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank
Let
you.
me know how the webinar goes, Bev.
I first
Have
have
any
to write it.
If you have any issues, just email me.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Jacqueline. Bye, Leslie.